Hi, and welcome to the Soprano Knits podcast. So I've been trying to decide on a good time to start this, probably for about 2 years. I've been a part of the knitting community as a bystander, just watching everything from the outside in, and I've always wanted to actively participate, and I never really got the guts to do that. So here I am today, getting the guts to do that. I'm really excited. I just wanted this to be an introduction to who I am, how I got into knitting, things I love about knitting, how it plays roles in my life. Have it be kind of a chatty introduction. If there's an echo, I'm sorry. I'll try and continue to work on that, but for right now, we're working with what we got. So, a little bit about me. My name's Sansi and I am 24 years old. We live in Texas, me and my husband, and we're expecting a little baby boy in October. It's been really exciting, and my favorite part so far has been dipping my toe into baby knits. We are big animal lovers, so throughout my videos, you're probably gonna be hearing barking, wrestling. We have 2 full-size Australian Shepherds. There we go. Charlie and Leopold, and they can hear me talking, so they're going crazy. We have 2 cats, Momo and Mr. Baby Kitty. We call him MBK for short. Mr. Baby Kitty is, I'm looking behind me because they're both in the living room. Mr. Baby Kitty is an orange tabby, and Momo is an all black cat with some really awesome green eyes. I'll probably insert some pictures here for you guys to enjoy. I am a high school choir director. That's my day job. I have been out of school for about 2 years and been teaching for both of those years. I love being a choir director, and I've been a lifelong lover of music in general. On the one hand, I'm a chronic hobbyist, and on the other, I'm a professional musician, music educator, and I'm very passionate about both of those things. So, like I said, a chronic hobbyist, so I pick up hobbies all over the place. I blame that on my dad. He does the same thing. So knitting has been my longest standing hobby, and I'll get more into how I got into knitting, how I started learning, all of those things later on in the video. But I also love to cook. I love to bake. I have recently started getting into quilting. I'm not super confident about it, but I'm excited about it. Sewing, all of those things. So like I said, a chronic hobbyist. I'm really passionate about learning new things. Starting with, of course, how long have I been knitting for? I picked up knitting when I was in my freshman year of college, which would have been 2021. I moved from a really small town to a larger school in a larger area, and I didn't have a ton of friends. As sad as that sounds, it got better. But I spent lots of time in my single dorm, didn't have a roommate, trying to figure out how to fill my time during COVID. But I had been taught how to crochet by my paternal grandmother a few years before, so I decided to pick up crocheting again. I crocheted myself a scarf. I don't even think I own it anymore, and decided that as I was scrolling social media that I wanted to learn to knit. So I went and I bought the cheapest interchangeable needle set that I could find and picked up a ball of yarn and taught myself how to knit. But since then, it's been my most constant hobby. I love the mobility of knitting, the fact that you can really take it anywhere and do it in those downtimes throughout the day. It was not a very disruptive hobby. I didn't have to devote a ton of specific time to it. It just naturally became something that I did throughout my life and my days. So if I picked it up in 2021, that means I've been knitting for about 5 years, 5 years really consistently. I wouldn't consider myself a really advanced knitter, but I'm definitely not a beginner knitter. I feel confident to take on pretty much any pattern. It's just a matter of what am I willing to learn and what am I willing to try. I love the mobility of knitting, and by that I really mean you can do it whenever and wherever you are. As a teacher, my school years are really busy and I have a lot of outside of school hour obligations as a choir director, and having a hobby that can come with me and join me throughout the day that fills in the little moments when I have downtime, it's something I can really look forward to that is different than scrolling on my phone. It's more grounding, it's more exciting in my opinion. So I knit a lot over my lunch breaks. I knit in my car. I have this chronic problem of wanting to do big projects and wanting to do lots of projects, but I'm an extremely monogamous knitter. I am not good at knitting on multiple projects at the same time. And because of that, I'm not a very fast knitter. I'm not the slowest, I don't think, but I have to be really enjoying a project to really get going on it. So I do want to make a separate video of everything that I have made. I've got lots of thoughts on what I've chosen to make and why the success or not success of those things. I'm working through kind of a slump of fit. I can't quite nail down the type of fit that I love. My everyday wardrobe is very oversized. It's very, I don't like things to fit closely to my body. And so I tend to knit things a few sizes larger, but I just haven't found the sweet spot. And so I want to make a separate video about things I've knit, what I've enjoyed the most, but more than that, how I'm going about trying to figure out this fit dilemma that I'm having, and what I want to do for future projects in regards to knitting things that I know I'm gonna love, that I know I'm gonna use and wear, but also fit better. I did mention that we are expecting in October, and my favorite part has been dipping into baby knits. So I wanted to show you my most recent finished off the needles Ingrid sweater baby. I blocked this a few days ago and have just taken it off of the blocking mats. I haven't even sewn in all the ends yet, but I am so excited about it. It's my first finished baby knit. I knit this over the last couple weeks. It was really fast, and I know everybody says that baby knits are really fast, but this one in particular was. So let me show you as I continue to talk about it. Like I said, we're having a little baby boy. I knit this in Knitting for Olive 100% merino, held double. I used the fingering weight, and I believe that the color is bottle green. I'm not entirely positive, so if I'm wrong, I will try and correct that in the video. But I loved the, see, you can see a little end there. I loved the finishing. This is something that I think I would enjoy knitting for myself. Love the folded neckline. I'm gonna put some elastic in there. I did not gauge swatch for this. I believe I used the recommended needle size for all of it, and because of that, I might just be naive and not know the size of babies, which I really don't, but this is pretty large, I think, for a baby knit. I did knit the smallest size, like I said, didn't gauge swatch. So I assume that my gauge is a little bit bigger. Maybe the yarn held double was a little bit bigger than what was recommended in the pattern. And because of that, I ended up with a bit of a larger sweater in my opinion. It's kind of hard to see on camera, the proportions, but all in all, I love, love, love the finish. I think that it looks really nice. It feels super light. I'm excited for this, and I'm hoping this is something that we keep and pass down for other babies that we have in the future. So this is my most recent finished work in progress. Very excited about our little baby sweater. It's really, really nice. As we continue on, I did want to show you a few of my other absolute favorite finish knits. I guess I shouldn't say favorite finish knits, but things that I have finished really recently, or in particular one that I just wear all the time. I'll talk more about it in detail when I do the breakdown video of everything that I have knit. Starting out here with my Anna's cardigan. This, as well as the Ingrid sweater baby, I don't remember if I said, are both PetiteKnit patterns. This Anna's cardigan is actually an older pattern, and it's been off my needles for a little bit. I've had a hard time styling, and I think that it is the fit. The fit, like I said, and I will continue to talk about, it's just, and I don't think it's a finished garment problem. I think it's a me problem. I think that I am going in and possibly picking patterns that just don't fit exactly what I want. So I need to do better. All of that said, I love the color of this sweater. I love the weight of it. It's so drapey and just like thin in the best way. I love the pointel little dots throughout. It's just a really delicate, beautiful sweater. Like I said, I've had a hard time styling it. I also have had a hard time with the neckline. I don't know if you can see, but it's quite wide. I didn't anticipate it was gonna be this wide. I believe that I knit this in either a size large or an extra large, which is what I typically wear in a sweater size. You know, if you buy a sweater from Target or something, I wear a large or an extra large. I don't know if elastic in this neckband is gonna be very helpful. Not only that, but I haven't ever really heard of putting elastic thread in a cardigan neckline. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if that's normal or not, or if that's even possible, because I don't know if it is. This was knit in, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Amano Awa 1101 Quoll Flower. So the color is Quoll Flower. I'll pull it up here. I ordered it from Wool & Co. and they did great. They always had great availability, but it's not a yarn I've seen spoken about. I don't quite remember why I decided to go with it, other than I just really enjoyed for one, the feel is wonderful. It's cooling, it's structured, but it's soft and it's woolly, and I haven't had it pill. I've worn it out like 3 or 4 times-ish. I'm not seeing any pilling or any super crazy wear, so I can't say long-term what the wear on this yarn is, but I can say that for right now, it's holding up pretty okay. The content of this, it's a DK weight, if I didn't say, is 55% baby alpaca, 26% merino wool, and 19% Pima cotton. And the cotton is what really drew me in. I was thinking more of a summer sweater here, summer cardigan, throwing over dresses, throwing over tank tops, fun things like that, which I think is what it is. If I just maybe did a better job size and neckline wise. I'll insert a picture of PetiteKnit's finished object. That'll give you more of an idea of what her goal was. And I think she used 100% wool. She typically uses 100% wool in her sample sizes. So again, I think this is just a fit, sizing, different yarn, who knows. So I do love her though. I think she's beautiful. She took me forever. Now on to the object that I find any excuse to wear, that I am more than willing to throw on with any outfit. This is a finished object that is just me, that everyone around me that knows me in my normal life, they see me wear very constantly. And it was something I did not expect to love as much as I do. That is the Nightshift shawl by Andrea Mowry. Now, do you just see? It's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. And it goes with everything because there's so many colors. All of that to say, she's gotten so much wear. I knit this with a Spincycle yarns bundle that was just an entire bundle of different Spincycle skeins that she had put together. So this was not a, I'm coming up with the color combos, I'm coming up with all of this. This was a, I went on, saw that they were offering these bundles on Spincycle and scooped it up. I love the colors. I wish I remember the bundle color set that it was. I might be able to track it down. I'll look and see. But this triangle shawl, I love, and I loved working on it. It was so addicting to work on. It went by so fast. It knit up really quickly. All in all, it is by far my favorite knitted garment that, well, and I guess it's not even a garment. My knitted item, my favorite knitted item that I have ever made. I am always tempted to make another shawl. I just don't know that I would ever love another shawl as much as I love this one. It is truly my favorite. So it was very expensive. It was an investment for sure. I think it was worth every penny. I wear it all the time. So super recommend. Loved the pattern. It was easy. I had never done any color work at all. Let me show you the back. The back's just as beautiful. I had never done any color work. This was super easy to follow, really straightforward techniques, nothing extreme at all, and it just came out absolutely beautiful. So I highly recommend this pattern. I highly recommend a bundle if you're like me and struggle with color. I get really nervous about color selection and what's gonna match and what's not. This was just such a lovely knit and it came together beautifully. That was kind of my finished object portion of the podcast, seeing as this is podcast episode number 1. Now I'm talking about my current works in progress and what I am working towards. This has been a work in progress since I finished my Nightshift shawl, which is about a year ago. I've been working on this sweater for a long time. I go through ups and downs with my knitting productivity. I get very motivated and really excited, but find that I'm working towards finished objects a lot of the time. This has been one that's really reliable. It's a very straightforward knit, mostly stockinette. I'm gonna try and not lose my ball of yarn, but it's using a yarn from my stash that I've just had for years and years. So the story that goes along with this is I visited my husband's grandparents with him about 4 years ago, and I was pretty new into my knitting journey, and we went to this wonderful little yarn shop in Colorado. I can't even remember what the name of it was, where it was, the town, anywhere along those lines. Have no recollection of it. But we went into what was one of my very first yarn store experiences. It was beautiful and wonderful, and I wanted to get a sweater quantity of yarn, but I didn't have a lot of money to do that with. So we were looking around, and close to the checkout area was this just basket of discount yarns. These yarns were dyed the same color, but were different dye lots. So they had slight variations in tone and in color throughout them, but they were close enough that I was willing to pay the discounted price and got a ton of yardage. Now let me just show you. It's fingering weight. So I went through years of trying to figure out what I wanted to use this for. I ultimately decided to hold it double so that it became a DK weight. It's this beautiful coppery terracotta, variegated, beautiful yarn. 100% wool for sure. I don't think it's 100% merino. I think it's 100% something else, not Norwegian. I've felt Norwegian, I've knit with PetiteKnit before. It's not as grabby as PetiteKnit is. It's very smooth, not itchy, but you can definitely feel the natural fibers in there. All of that to say, this is my work in progress on the Monday sweater by PetiteKnit. I remember calculating my yardage, and I believe I have enough for a full-length sweater. I am nervous though, so I'm playing the safe game and decided months ago that I was going to put it on hold after I split for sleeves and complete both of the sleeves. So I've got one sleeve finished right here, all the decreases, all of everything, love the finishing. I am currently working on my second sleeve here. I've got a few, I think I have about 4 more rounds of decreases before I knit the cuff. This is a wonderful pattern. I'm really enjoying it. I am worried about fit. I can't remember if I casted this on as a large or an extra large. I think if I went back and looked at the pattern, because I haven't glanced at the pattern in a long time, that I would know. But I basically knit this entire yoke probably a year ago. I got really on the train, knit the yoke, did the raglan increases, split for sleeves, knit the sleeve, and then it sat. And I picked this up right after I finished my Ingrid baby sweater. I picked this back up again and have been just trucking away on the sleeve. Now, I did use a new ball of yarn, as you can tell. And I've used a couple, I think I've gotten through, I think 1, maybe 2 skeins got me through this whole part, the one sleeve in there. Grabbed another ball of yarn. I knew this was gonna be potential risk for dye lot, and we definitely have a very clear line there from dye lot changes. Honestly, I'm not really that upset about it. There's a part of me that thinks that maybe blocking it is gonna help even out the color. But at the end of the day, I actually think it's kind of cute. Don't tell me if you think it's not, because then I will overthink it. But for yarn that I've been trying to find something to do with for years, I think this is a great use. And I'm, again, really excited about the Monday sweater. So the sweater I'm actually wearing is, I believe, a Target find, but it's a raglan sweater, very similar-ish to what this is, but obviously I think it's fisherman's rib that is the actual fabric. I've had this sweater for years and I love the fit of it. It's a size large from Target. I think I already said it was from Target. And I'm basically on a mission to figure out how to knit my own sweaters that fit like this one. This one looks promising. When I hold them next to each other, it looks like it's gonna be similar, which is awesome. But I'm also trying not to get my hopes up. I also know that the fabric's different, all of that, blah, 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 blah. But all in all, I'm really excited about this sweater. I'm excited about the finished object. I'm excited about the color. I love the color. I think it's a really cool color. Cascade 220 offers a very similar color. So does Knitting for Olive. Those are not gonna give you, I don't think, as much variegation as this specific yarn has, but Cascade 220 comes in a color called Ginger. The Knitting for Olive Merino in Rust is a very similar color as well. This pattern is knit in a DK weight, so if you are wanting a sweater very similar to this, I would recommend holding Knitting for Olive Merino double in Rust. And if you love mohair, then get the compatible mohair and just knit 1 strand merino and 1 strand mohair, which I think is what the pattern recommends. We'll see. I don't love mohair. We'll get into that in another video. That's everything I had on my list. That's everything that I wanted to talk about in my first video. Again, I apologize if it's really echoey. I haven't listened to this. I haven't even looked at it. So hopefully it's not too bad. And yes, I'm excited to finally push myself out of my comfort zone and get into something that I've just loved for so long. And I've wanted to be an active participant in this community for a really long time. I hope you all have a wonderful week filled with knitting and your favorite things. Tell me in the comments what you're working on right now and anything fun that you are planning to do this coming week. I hope that you join me again next week for either a podcast or another video. Thank you so much for watching.